Ooh, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Bank Phillies podcast. I'm your host, Pete, along with my co-host, Henry. What is up, my guy?
So I guess we'll live with the split.
I guess we will have to live with the split. Don't love it, but
No, hate it. Hate it.
yeah.
I hate it.
I mean,
There's no don't love it. No, I hate it.
yeah, definitely not ideal situation, but listen, that's what's gonna happen when you throw, you know, starters out there, like today, and they just don't have it, and Nola just has his usual game where he just can't pitch for some reason. It's just that's what you're gonna get. So
I'd rather have a blow up against the Marlins than like a playoff team, though.
no, for sure. I mean that's the thing. I think obviously you don't like to see the split, and I know a lot of people are like panicking now because you don't know what to expect from this team, and they haven't really been consistent. But I just think right now, I can't lie with you. I really think they're just looking to October, which I know that doesn't sound great. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying they definitely are. I'm not like speaking on it, but I just feel like
Yeah.
that, like the body language and stuff like that, they're just kind of trying to get through the month of September and hopefully things fall into place for them. But
I,
I don't want them to get too calm now about it. So,
yeah. Well, the problem is last time they went on cruise control, the biggest collapse happened. So it's like you want them to keep their foot on the gas, but you're like, oh, preserve. But then
mhm.
it's no, not like that. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like it's
exactly.
so weird, man.
Yeah, it's very weird, and it makes you have a lot of thoughts that go through your head. You know what I'm saying? Going this last stretch of September, and when they're playing like this against mediocre teams like Miami, you're just thinking to yourself, like, I really don't want to see this, going into October, and I want to see momentum. But hey, I mean, other teams are losing too, so I mean, I guess it's kind of helping us out. I guess it's a
Yeah, but
positive, but
still.
yeah, you can't really depend on that all the time. So hey,
Not at all. Not at all.
just don't get too relaxed.
Yeah,
Have some
yeah.
sense of urgency, I guess you could say, because we don't we
That's
don't know
back.
exactly. Um, so yeah, let's get into the series real quick. We'll start with game one on Thursday. Phil's get the 5-2 win behind a good pitching performance by Ranger. Offense really gave Ranger some support in this game. Stott had a homer in the game. I realized that the bottom of the order of the lineup really helped down this game. There were some hits by JT, Marsh, Clemens, and Rojas. Jose Ruiz had another good showing with 2 strikeouts, along with Kirkering as well. And then Strom closed out the game for the save.
Mhm.
It was good to see Ranger get back to his usual self. I know he had a bad game beforehand, but it's good to see him, I guess get back to it against a team like Miami as well. Like he should be playing well against those type of teams, and
Yeah.
we're gonna need that version of him going into the playoffs.
It's nice to have what's this, his second or third start
Mm-hmm.
at the coming back.
I think
It's nice
third.
to have it, yeah, third. That's what I thought. Um it's nice to have a start against a team that's really not all that good. Just to try and
Yep.
get his confidence back up. Because you never know where a guy is after he comes back from an injury,
Yeah.
even if he does as well as Ranger has done. But two guys I want to highlight are Bryson Stott and Brendan Marsh. Now I don't know if these stats include today's game or it was previous.
Mm-hmm.
The last 15 games, Stott is batting 365 with 6 extra base hits, a 417 on base percentage, and a 974 OPS. That's crazy
Yeah.
considering the slump that he went through. And here's another guy who was in a slump who's coming out of it now. Marsh is hitting 333, has 7 extra base hits, an on base percentage of 433, and an OPS of 982.
Nice.
So when you have both of those guys working the way they are, that's a great place to be.
Yeah, and
Because
you said it was Marsh and who else?
Stott.
Stop word.
Yeah. Stott was the first set of numbers I read, and Marsh was the second.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah, that's good.
what jumps out to me isn't necessarily the batting average, but it's the on base percentage. They've been
Hmm.
seeing a lot more pitches, having way better at bats. The approaches look better,
Yep.
all that stuff. So those are the guys I want to highlight because you did mention the bottom of the order.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a good thing for those guys too. I mean, because we're gonna be depending on them a lot, going into October in this final stretch, and especially when guys like Harper are going through the stretch they are right now. Like, just you can kind of tell he's trying to find his timing. The bottom order is needs to come through.
Yeah,
And seeing Stott and Marsh, especially even against lefties, I feel like Marsh is doing a little bit more better. Obviously, he's
Definitely.
a lot more better than against righties, but any more improvement there is great for us. And Stott, I mean, he started off the year not the greatest, and I mean, obviously he's worked through some things, and like I said, he homered in that game, so it was good to see the power is still there for him.
Right.
And even like JT, I feel like JT's kind of settling a little bit back in, and I know he had to come out of the game the other night, and I think he'll probably be okay. So,
Yeah. He
um,
said today, I saw a report today. I forget which reporter it was. JT said that his knee today feels a lot better than it did yesterday. So he's already
good.
improving. I said to you that game was strictly precautionary.
Yeah, for sure.
When he got pulled. I know you're going to go into the second game in a second.
Mhm.
But that game he just got pulled for precaution. At least I
Yeah,
think.
hopefully, because I just that don't we don't need that. So
I know.
it's just
I
like
know, dude,
it's like all
and
right,
the rash of injuries is here, which is
yeah,
annoying.
a little worrisome,
But
but be all right.
yeah.
So yeah, going into game two, Phillies get the 16-2 win behind an excellent pitching performance from Zach Wheeler. The offense finally gave him some run support and a lot of runs at least, so that was good. And it just didn't stop. I mean, it seemed like the offense was just locked in from the start.
Mhm.
Schwartz had himself another home run, and Trey went deep. Looked like Harper got involved at times in this game, which was very good to see. Like I said, still trying to find his timing. He hasn't homered in a long time. And we're still
Yeah.
waiting for that. That would be awesome to see, and for his confidence as well.
Yeah.
Um, and also Alvarado, which was another bright spot. He had a good clean inning with 3 strikeouts. So, seeing him kind of
Yeah.
settle back in as well was really good.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. And it's good to see he's like you just said, he's back to kind of settle down, throw your pitches where you're supposed to kind of
Hmm.
thing. Um, Still waiting on Bryce.
Yeah.
Just still waiting on Bryce. I don't know why he kept playing today. I'm not going to jump to that game yet because I know you're going
Hmm.
to get to it, but
Yeah.
sometimes I just feel like you can pull him and it's going to be all right. But
It's going to be okay.
he's a gamer. That's the
He is.
problem. So when you leave him in a 16-2 game, it's like what's the point here? You know?
Yeah.
Because if you do that one too many times, it's going to bite you. So
Yeah, exactly. It's more of just like read the room and see like, okay, listen, let's just take this out of his control and let's protect him. You know what I'm saying, type of thing. And
yeah,
you just don't know what's happening, especially with these pitchers nowadays. You don't know. Good example is in Toronto and stuff where you got hit in the elbow. It's just that type of stuff, worries you a little bit. So I completely understand that point. But like I said, it's just right now I think he's just trying to really find his timing and make it more consistent. So it's
yeah,
just it sucks to see that the power is still not there. Kind of even in some of the swings and hits that he's gotten, like some doubles, whatever, you can kind of still see he's like it's not completely there yet. I would say it's only like about like 75% of the way there. So
yeah.
like I said, obviously he was talking about him being banged up a little bit, so that might be involved as well. But it's just we really need him to get that power back to City Old Bryce.
Yeah, I mean, he's crucial for this team.
Yeah,
I mean, if it's not there in October, I mean, kiss that goodbye.
yeah, exactly.
I honestly like it sounds cynical, but like it's true. You don't win a World Series without Bryce Harper.
No,
So
absolutely not. And I'll go back to it, but Zach Wheeler, he looked amazing on Friday, and as he should be, because that's the Wheeler that we know.
right,
Even
right.
against a good team, he still puts up a good fight and good performance. But and like I said before, like just getting him run support early in the game, you really don't have to worry about much at that point. If you get up by
Nope.
like 3 or 4 runs, it's like okay, he can pitch our way and climb on his back, and we
Do
go the
whatever
rest of
we
the
need to
way.
do.
So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So um, it's not like he had to go the whole game. You know what I'm saying? He pitched good amount. I think he pitched gave us 6 innings, and I mean the bullpen did their job. So it's not like we had to like tire him out and have him pitch like 115 something
Yeah, yeah,
pitches.
yeah.
So kind of
Right.
save him a little bit of energy, which was good. So
Yeah.
all
I mean,
around good
great
game.
game. Yeah, I was gonna say there's not much to say about that game there.
No, not at all. But we will move into game three. Not very good. Phillies take the 9-5 loss. Nola came out not having his stuff in this game, and it never got any better. He gave up an early 2-run home run to Norby. And after that, the floodgates kind of opened, and I feel like the Marlins really never looked back. It was like after that homer, it was kind of like he was trying to like scratch his way back to like getting like
Yeah.
a good consistent like
Rhythm. Yeah.
rhythm, and it just seemed like it was never there. And we always see these type of games out of Nola sometimes where he just I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something mentally where like he just gets in his own head and he leaves a lot of balls over the plate, and then they're leaving the yard instantly. And it just in the offense, I mean, they did what they could in the game. There was a couple instances where they getting some runs back, whatever, but it felt like it was kind of too little, too late. And that's the unfortunate part about it is for us fans like having that mindset where it's like we know this team can come back, but it's like once you're giving up, multiple runs, you get one or two runs back, right? And then you go into the next inning and then they get another run or two. And then here we
Right.
are again. It's like, okay, now we have to try to start this all over again, which, we've seen a couple times this year and it's not good. So,
No, it's not. It's not. The way you just put that was perfect.
mm,
Like, it's almost like every time we score, we're like, all right, we're kind of back in this thing. And it's like, oh, just kidding. Nope.
yeah.
Like, it's
All right.
just, but it's every inning. It's like, you can't have any clean innings. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
And like, the bulk of our bullpen is good. It's just like, sometimes guys have off nights. It's like, my gosh,
Yeah.
you're killing me.
And this was going to be in my takeaways points from some of the series, but Nola needs to get it together. Like he needs to be consistent. He can't be having games like this against mediocre teams because if he's
Yeah.
having games like this against mediocre teams, I don't want to imagine what it's going to be like come playoff time. And I know I keep bringing up the playoffs and stuff like that, but it's true. Like
But that's the weird thing about Noah, because in the last couple playoffs he's been Mr. Consistent. So
he has, yeah.
it's like where like do I get mad? Do I wonder if he can do it? Like who knows? You know? Like
Mhm.
cuz he's been so good in the playoffs the last couple of years. Like I who am I to doubt him in the playoffs? But then he does this and it's like come on,
Yeah.
you know?
It's more so leaving the balls over the plate the amount of times is I don't like to see. Like all of his other stuff is good. I mean, the knuckle curve, like when he has that
Knuckle
on,
curve when he has it on. I was gonna
yeah,
say.
it's
I was gonna ask.
unstoppable.
Did he? Was that like really hitting for him or no? Because I didn't get to watch much of that game.
And I mean, I was watching bits and pieces of it because I was busy at the same
Okay.
time, but it just seemed like nothing at all was really hitting for him.
Yeah.
Like I said, it
Okay.
was just a lot of stuff that I think he was trying to pinpoint or trying to get through, and it was just too much over the plate. And listen, credit to the Marlins, they were just seeing it
Right.
well, I guess.
Yeah. I was up at
Yeah.
Reading for that game,
Nice,
seeing the
nice.
future. Well, some of
There
the
you go.
future.
Yeah, some of
The
it.
future I was there to see was sat that night, but whatever.
Um, and I guess I'll bring this up, unfortunately, but we saw another Taiwan Walker appearance in this game. Came out of the bullpen.
See, I didn't
Um,
even know. I didn't even know he came to the game. Thank
yeah,
God.
he had two strikeouts, but he did give up 2 earned runs. I think he gave another homer. So I was like, what else is new? Okay. Um, that whole thing is just a shit show with him. I don't know. I just anytime
Oh
somebody lets
man.
me know that he's in the game, like my dad was telling me, oh, yo, Taiwan Walker's in the game. I'm like, awesome.
It's like
like
when Garrett Stubbs gets in the game, you're like, oh, this is going wrong.
yeah, it's like you know what, dude? Like I don't. Yeah. Just it's unfortunate because I felt like going into that game, especially with Nola. It's just I thought like, okay, let's just win the series here. If we lose Sunday, it is what it is. We took 3 out of 4, but it's just like I said, after a performance like that from Wheeler, he's gotta follow up with something good, man. He has to. It's a big game for us. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, yeah.
but
That's gonna. I mean, that's gonna be the 1-2 punch in the postseason. So it's got to
yeah.
show something.
And we get into today's game, game 4, which was a lot more uglier. Phillies take the 10-1 loss. Seth Johnson made his major league debut today, and it did not go the way he or anybody imagined as he gave up 8 hits, 9 earned runs, and 3 walks, had 0 strikeouts. The Phillies offense did not help as well as they were getting no hit through 6
Am,
innings until Marsh finally got one for them.
am,
Bad game
am I
overall.
reading this correct? Johnson has a 34.71 ERA.
Yes, that's
My
correct.
God.
But small sample size. So I mean, hey,
I mean, that number is just so funny.
yeah, it's bizarre to see. But
Yeah.
I know you said you didn't really watch too much of this game, and to be honest with you,
No,
I
no.
really didn't either because I just didn't want to deal with that today. And they were getting no hit, and I said like if they get no hit by the Marlins, we're not doing the podcast. But shout out to Marsh because he saved us basically.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Right.
um,
Right. He saved our sanity.
yeah, just bad game, man. It's just this 5th spot, man, is evil right now, man.
Yeah. The Schwarber and left is just diabolical.
Yeah, I'm not. We can stop with that. We can stop with that. We can. I'm done with that.
I think they're just trying to get the most out of Cody Clemens while he's here.
No, for sure.
Still,
And, seeing Sosa go on the 10-day IL doesn't help with
he's
back
what?
spasms.
How many players now do we have that are on the 10-day IL?
Well, I think it's just
Yeah,
Sosa and Bohm for right now.
that's it. Feels like so
I
much
know
more.
it
Well, I
feels like
guess
a lot more.
because JT isn't on the IL. He's just hurt
Yeah,
for now.
yeah,
But they also
exactly.
said Bohm didn't need to go to the IL, and here we are. So
Yeah, which I just didn't feel right about the whole waiting and till that time to put on the IL when they
yeah.
could have maybe done it earlier. But
Oh, Austin
who am
Hayes
I
is
to say?
another one who's on the IL,
Oh
but
yeah, him
that's
too.
just a
So
health issue. Like that's not even.
yeah,
There's literally nothing he could have done about that.
exactly.
There's a kidney infection. Like, what am I gonna say? Stretch? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, listen, Seth Johnson, I honestly at first it seemed like he had good stuff, but it just seemed like he had absolutely no control
yeah,
whatsoever, no command. And it seemed like it was the first game, like, it's his first game ever in the MLB. And it's like, all right,
right.
like a little nervous maybe, but it was just terrible. Bad.
I
So
mean,
bad.
I'm not gonna sit here and like completely bash him. Not saying
No,
that's what you're
absolutely.
doing. I'm
No, no,
just
no.
saying like I'm just like very indifferent on whatever this is.
Yeah.
Um, he for people who don't know, he was the one of the pitchers we got in the Gregory Soto trade, and
Yep.
he was the pitcher of the month last month for Double A. Like he hasn't pitched to Triple A, even Triple A batters yet. So I think they were just kind of trying to ride the hot hand a little bit here.
Mhm.
But I'm not just gonna sit here and go, well, he's never going to be ready.
No, no,
Who
no. I
knows?
mean,
You know what I
take
mean?
a while, yeah.
That's not what you're doing. I'm
No,
just
no,
saying,
no.
like, I'm very indifferent on it. You know?
For sure, and I honestly think that he's thrown into a tough situation, a tough spot. Because I
Yes.
mean, if guys like Taiwan Walker would just pitch, somewhat
Better.
decent for us,
Yeah.
yeah, then we wouldn't
As a
really have to
five,
worry about it.
he was so bad he can't even be a 5.
Yeah. So it's just I feel like Johnson was kind of thrown into it and was kind of like, hey, like let's see what you got, and it just right now it just didn't seem like he's ready yet. I guess you could say,
Yeah.
in terms of being respectful. I mean,
No.
it's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
he's still young. You know what I'm
He's just
saying?
he's just not ready. There's certain guys who just aren't ready. Tyler Phillips isn't ready. Like
Yeah,
guys like that, they're just not they're simply not ready yet, and that's okay. Not every guy's going to be ready right away, you know.
yeah,
And I think essentially one of the only reasons why he got called back or he got called up was because they can't call up Colby Allard yet. I think
yeah.
today they can or
Hmm.
tomorrow. Today, tomorrow, one of the two.
Uh, yeah, one of the two. I'm pretty sure. I remember that.
Yeah.
And I mean, staying on the topic of the fifth spot of rotation,
Mhm.
it being a big concern right now. I mean, like, who do you throw there going forward for? I mean, rest of the season. I mean, you might hopefully not need him in the playoffs usually, but
Yeah.
just to get through this, end of the season.
I mean, I think it's Colby Allard.
Okay.
I don't see it being anybody else. And
Yeah.
again, I think the only reason these last couple of starts that we've had to deal with this, it hasn't been Colby Allard is strictly because of the rule that you can't call him up.
Yeah.
Um, I think he's the guy for the fifth spot for the next what is it now? 3 starts.
Hmm.
I mean, just trot him out there. Can't be worse than Taiwan.
Can't be. I mean, I had a good game against the Royals back in that series. I mean, pitched pretty decent, pitched well enough to keep us in the game and then win.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, what
Who do
else
you
can
think it's supposed to be or should be?
I?
I should say.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't. I know they've talked about it, and there's been rumors about the whole like, oh, it could just be a bullpen game, which I like. I understand that
Hate
you don't
that.
want to like use up. Yeah, and I know you don't want to use up your bullpen arms, but in a game like that, but like who knows? Maybe they might need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know.
Yeah.
Listen, we've had a lot of games this year where the starting rotation they've pitched complete games. We haven't had to see the bullpen in some of the games, and I feel like sometimes that that hurt them a little bit because then you would see them in the next game and they just didn't have it. I mean, maybe a little bit of just getting some innings towards the end of this season, going in October can help a little bit. But I know not a lot of people are a fan of the bullpen games, and I know Thompson probably isn't either. So.
Right.
Um, and I think, but then again, I think, Kobe Allard will probably be the one going forward, is what I'm guessing. Because at this point, what other options do you have? You know what I'm
You don't
saying?
have
And yeah, you don't. So,
So
It's like, dude, listen, you got
whatever.
to pitch somewhat decent for us the next couple of
Yeah.
starts just to get us through. So,
Right.
um,
Right.
but yeah, it's just today was bad, and we're gonna act like it didn't happen.
Yep.
I feel like I said, I told you, I feel like I've been saying that a lot this year.
As far as I'm
Unfortunately,
concerned, we took 2 out of 3.
yeah, it's like I want to tell myself that, and we
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
But do you need a new Philly sports T-shirt? Want to rep more Phillies apparel? Philly Goat is your way to go, and you can use the code BTVPod for 10% off your next order. Beyond the Bank is proud to be an affiliate with Philly Goat. As always, go Phils.
All right, so I wanted to get into this a little bit tonight because I have a feeling that we're letting these teams hang around a little too much.
Mm,
So what I wanted to get into was the standings for the National League and the playoff picture a little bit. Um, the Phillies are 7 games up right now on the Braves, and I just feel like they're letting them and the Mets just hang around a little too much. The Mets have overperformed this year what people expected, even though they were supposed to be this good.
yeah.
They have overperformed just a little bit, but the Braves just seem to be embracing this whole nobody believed in us, we're a group of throwaways type of thing. I was curious to hear your thoughts and what you think might play out over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, it is a little worrisome seeing like the Braves and Mets still kind of hang around, and I feel like that's partially on our fault because we haven't taken care of business when we needed to, and if we did take care of business, we'd probably be up by
Wouldn't be
like
in the
10, 12.
situation,
Yeah,
right? Right.
wouldn't be in a situation, but it is what it is. We live with it, and we just try to win games. But the thing that I'm most worried about when it comes to standings and stuff is just getting that 1 or 2 seed. Now we did create a gap between us and the Brewers for the two
Yes.
seed, and then we're kind of switching back and forth with the Dodgers. We do have the tiebreaker over them, so even if it comes down to records, tying up whatever, we'll still get the 1 seed. But yeah, it's just I usually don't like to see when we're letting teams hang around. Like we really could have put the Braves and Mets away at this point. And like you said, I mean the Mets have they've been on a hot streak right now, and
Yeah.
they're a dangerous team. As much as we
Yeah.
hate them and we don't like them,
You
they're
got you
they're
got to give them at least a little bit of respect right now,
exactly.
as far
And
as the winning games and whatnot. They're not just throwaway games.
for sure, and they're coming into our house next weekend, so
Yeah.
it's just this series might end up being very important for us, and
Yeah.
depending on what happens with the Rays. But yeah, it's a lot of like I hate to fall into the trap of like having to scoreboard watch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know I said earlier like hoping teams lose. I don't want them to have to worry about that, but
Yeah.
if you're gonna keep splitting series with the Marlins, then that's what's gonna happen. But like yeah, it's just I really want us to get the 1 seed or the 2 seed. Whatever helps us from having to play wild card weekend. You know what I'm saying? Because that little
Yeah.
break is what I feel like we're gonna really need come
I
October.
so I think we need that, and there's one person I think needs that more than anybody, and that's Bryce.
Yep.
I don't think there's any player on that team that needs that sit and rest time more than him, because
Yeah.
then it'll let him get a little bit more healthy. Even if you're not at 100%, nobody's at 100% at this part of the season.
Yeah.
Schwarber's probably bothering him. Cassie's thigh probably hurts still from getting hit. Like
Yeah.
just the little like nagging injuries. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, and it just concerns me letting them sit around like this.
Yeah.
Like
I,
letting these teams hang around just bothers me, and it helps because on the nights we lose, they're losing too,
hmm.
which is ironic, but they're facing a lot better teams.
They are.
The Braves not so much right now because I believe they're going against the Rockies, no? Or is it the Brewers going against the Rockies? I think it's
No, they're playing the Blue Jays, which they did
Blue
win
Jays,
tonight.
yes.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just tough because they're essentially winning all the games they have to. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So, and that's always been an Achilles heel of this ball club.
For sure. Yeah. And to be honest with you, it is worrisome, but I believe in this team, and I've said it multiple times. I still think they're going to win the division. I know they're going to take care of business, but you just need to keep an eye on, what's going on around you type of thing. And,
Yeah,
just take care of business.
and I think they think it's locked up already.
They do. Yeah. And
That's
they
the
could,
issue,
unfortunately, you hope they don't, but,
right?
by what it looks like, maybe they do. And staying on the topic of, standings and whatnot, have to do with playoffs. Phillies tailgate posted on Twitter Phillies magic number update. To make the playoffs, clinch
Right.
division, first round bye. So to make the playoffs, it's 12. To clinch the NL East, it's 13, and to clinch a first round bye is 17. So
17's a lot.
it is. It is. So
Oh man, that's
these
gonna be tough.
numbers, they're getting lower by each day, but it's just, we gotta really keep an eye on this and see, what games we win and get that number down to to the single digits. So
Yeah, this is. I mean, they're 7-3 in their last 10, but
yeah,
like at the same time, it's like the timing of these wins and losses matters.
for
If
sure.
only,
And
like you said before we got on the call, if only they took care of business
if only,
in August and the second half of July.
we would probably be having a different discussion here. It'd probably be in the single digits, very close to.
Yes, easily.
So I always like to see this, like the magic number stuff start to pop up at this
Yeah,
time of
me
the year
too.
because now it's like, they start bringing up on the broadcast and they're like, oh,
Right.
10 games until they clinch a spot or something like that. And hopefully this time around it's for the division.
Right.
Hopefully. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hope I'm there the night they clinch the division, but it's gonna be tough, man.
It is.
They're not going to take the Braves and the Mets aren't going to take this line down. That's for sure.
Mm.
So
Nope.
So with that, we're going to go into Pete's picks. I know we just mentioned that the Mets are coming to town. Unfortunately, the
Yeah.
Mets are coming to town next weekend. What else you got for this week?
Yeah, so tomorrow we go back home to start a 3-game series with the Tampa Bay Rays. And we have Christopher Sanchez on the mound tomorrow. So, hopefully Sanchez is on his game. He's comfortable. He's at home. And I would like to see the offense, come into this series with more aggression and more consistency, which would be nice. And hopefully, guys like JT come back. Hopefully, maybe he probably will be since they sat him, last 2 games, whatever. That would be good to see. And then Tuesday we have Ranger Suarez on the mound, and I think Wednesday we have Zach Wheeler. So we have a good, pitching
Kind of set
trio.
up here. Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of set up here. So I'm gonna say that we take 2 out of 3 from Tampa Bay at home, which I'll take. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking for too much if I ask for a sweep, but Tampa Bay is still a decent team
Yeah.
and whatnot. So I'm not going to overlook them. They're just really hovering like below 500 right now. So they're just, they're a sneaky team. You never
Right.
know. And then we have a day off on Thursday, and then that's when the Mets come to town for a 3-game series. I don't think no pitchers have been announced yet. I'm also going to say we take 2 out of 3 here. I know it's just that's going to be a huge series for us, I feel like, and we hate the Mets. We can't let them come in and have this jolt of confidence that they could beat us and just
Nope.
roll over. So, I'm guessing Nola's probably going to start Friday after the day off. So,
Yeah.
I will be at the game, and I'm hoping Nola brings his A game. That would be pretty
Yeah.
nice and important. So, yeah, those are my picks for the week.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, just take care of business these next couple weeks because it's going to mean a lot. So, hey, man.
I'm just these bats got to stay warm, man. Stay warm.
Stay warm and stay healthy too. You know what I'm saying? I really hope you get going back soon. And Sosa, it's just
And how about
those guys?
we keep Schwarber out of left field?
Yeah, let's stop. We don't have to do that anymore. I'm tired of doing that. We lived through that long enough. You know what I'm saying? He can stay at DH and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, let's pray that Harper gets the power back, man. We need that too. We need to see that. So
the high on base percentage is good, but the power would be nice.
A home run would be great, especially for my fantasy team.
Just one.
Yeah, it would help in fantasy as well. So
roll of the Bryce isn't exactly going as you planned, huh?
It's not. It started off well, but listen, man, it's
that's okay. At least you didn't trade for Bryce Harper right before he stopped hitting home runs. I traded him for Shohei Ohtani straight up.
Oh man, that's gonna live with you.
Big mistake.
Yeah, it is.
Guy's about to go 50-50, and I traded Bryce Harper for him.
How do you feel about all that? The whole 50-50 talk with Ohtani. I know it's cool, but real quick.
I don't want to sound like a hater,
I'm not judging.
but I don't think Ohtani should be the MVP of the National League. I don't
Okay.
think anybody who's not a position player
Yeah.
should. And I understand he's having an unbelievable historic year, but I just don't think he should be MVP. The 50-50 thing is going to be awesome if it happens, which I think it will.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time saying he's MVP when all he's doing is hitting.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing this year in reality,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think Aaron Judge's season to me is more impressive than Ohtani's because he's doing it on a 3-year run right now, really. Like
Yeah,
last
for
year he
sure.
hit 62 or 63 home runs. So it's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean it's cool to see. Respect for those guys. You
Yeah.
had a good point with Judge having a little bit maybe of a better season. The 50-50 thing is cool with Otani. But yeah, I'm getting sick of tired of seeing it. To be honest with you, I mean, like I know I'm gonna sound like a hater. Everybody's gonna be like, all right, this
Of
blah blah
course,
blah
of
whatever.
course.
But like,
That's
listen,
what you
dude, show me what we could do in the playoffs first. I mean, we haven't really seen him yet in there, so he has the opportunity this
do. Not
year.
at all.
So
Not at
listen,
all.
I know he's a good player, respect him and stuff like that. Just show me when the time matters. So we'll
Yeah.
see. But
Yeah, I
hey,
agree.
I hope he doesn't show us because then maybe that'd be good for us. But
Yeah.
hey, kudos to you, man. We're over here trying to win championships. So I mean, hey, if somebody on our team was going for a 50-50, I'd be
Right.
ecstatic, obviously.
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just like there's so many other things on my mind right now that I'm worried about
No, I
than
agree. I
a
agree.
50-50. And I probably sound like a psychopath saying that, but
Oh
listen,
yeah.
I'm starting to shift the mode now. Like I'm just like it's
Well, I
getting
just
to
bought my Red October tickets. So
there you go. Yeah, and I mean I'm probably gonna spend a shitload of money on a ticket for
and
for whatever
I'll
game it
tell you
is.
right now, they better not make the wild card round because I didn't even bother buying a ticket for the wild card round.
Yeah,
So.
no, please don't do that because I don't want to buy 2 tickets for wild card and LDS.
Right.
But yeah, the weather is getting cooler now in the fall. I started to think about it. Well, I just
Last night watching baseball with a breeze and it being cool out,
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like, yeah, I'm
right.
ready. I'm
It's like the,
ready.
the the goosebumps run down your neck. You're just like, whoa,
Right. You're like
I'm starting to smell Red
you
October
start to
right
hear
now.
that Moby song in the back and you're like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's
Dude,
like,
that's
is that in
how.
my head? What?
Yeah, it's like I'm starting to just like shift into that mode. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
I'm
And
itching
I'm
for it,
starting to
man. I
remember
just
what it was like the last year or two, like
yeah,
when they're really, really good. And
yeah,
this
yeah,
year I'll
yeah.
be able to watch all the games since I'm on day shift now. So I'll be able to
There you
watch
go.
all the games, which is
Yeah,
thank
and
God.
there's expectations this year. I mean, it's you know,
Yeah.
not there's no ifs ands or buts this year, so they gotta
No.
get it
Gotta
done.
get it done.
Yeah, so
Gotta get it done.
just be consistent. So take care
Hmm.
of business, as we said. But yeah, so per usual, shout out to all your listeners. Keep listening, keep hitting the download button, keep supporting. We appreciate it. Same with YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment. Run the views. Like I always say, keep up with social media. Follow Instagram. We got a couple more followers recently, so shout out to y'all. We appreciate it. And yeah,
All right, go Phils.
go Phils. Get out of here. Peace.